Good morning. It's Monday, June 23rd, 2025. It's approximately 10 o'clock. At this time, we have a Commissioner's Court public hearing on discussion designating Starr County reinvestment zones as follows. Agenda item number 1. Discussion on designating the Starr County Mandolin Solar Project LLC reinvestment zone number 1-2025 in the jurisdiction of Starr County, Texas, pursuant to the county guidelines and criteria under the Property Redevelopment and Tax Abatement Act, Chapter 312 of the Texas Tax Code. Okay, so just a public hearing. Amanda? Okay, Ms. Benavides would like to present.
Hey. Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
So we have before you a public hearing that includes two projects. The first one, as you mentioned, is the Mandolin Solar. So Mandolin Solar is a project that is anticipated to be about 300 megawatts in size. It is about $37 million, give or take, in value, and the anticipated start date for this project would be the first quarter of 2026. This project is located in the Roma area. It is north of Loma Blanca and Sanchez Road. The project right now is under consideration. We just need the ability to bring this forward to you because it does require the creation of an reinvestment zone, which then would allow us to begin discussion about potentially entering into a tax abatement agreement. The size of the project is about 2,200, a little over 2,200 acres. And this, they're telling us, is probably phase one in a few more that they anticipate doing. They'll have solar and battery in this area.
Okay. So
Don't know if you have any other questions, but the anticipated operation time for these is about 25 years. So that's about how long they anticipate to be in operation.
any more questions?
And when did it start?
They think it might start Q1 of 26, so in January, February of next year for construction. They're trying to do it sooner, but they're just wrapping up some things with ERCOT and AEP on where the connection is going to be. I will also add that one of the things we've talked very candidly about with them is the road use agreements and some of the new requirements that are going to be included, so that the expectation now isn't anymore that they leave it the way they found it, but that actually they maintain it while they're moving some of the equipment in, because we learned with a couple of projects that sometimes, having them do it after the fact is not the best way to keep anybody living or moving in that area from having any issues.
Perfect.
Okay, since it's a public hearing, there's no action, right?
That is correct.
Okay. Let's go into agenda item number 2. Discussion on the renewal of the Starr Solar Ranch Reinvestment Zone number 1 in the jurisdiction of Starr County, Texas, pursuant to the county's guidelines and criteria under the Property Redevelopment and Tax Abatement Act, Chapter 312 of the Texas Tax Code.
Correct. So this is also another battery and solar project, more battery than anything. It's about almost 800 acres. It is also in the west side of the county, off of Loma Blanca Road. There used to be an investment zone you had previously approved, but those expire after 5 years, so we're needing to renew it in order to be able to entertain an abatement agreement with them. Now, in addition, as we've mentioned, the conversations have been the same thing about the road use agreement. We have also talked to them about making sure that as we're moving forward, we keep track of their investment and the temporary job creation, which is something we didn't talk about at the other project, but we'll remind everyone, these don't have a lot of jobs at the end. They have a few that are well-paying jobs, but they do create anywhere between 200 to 400 temporary jobs while they're being constructed. And so we hope this is something that they move forward. They anticipate construction will probably start in September or October of this year for that portion of the project.
Okay, any questions, guys? Any questions? Nobody? Okay, Ms. Benavides.
All right, these do not require action, but they will be on the agenda for the regular meeting, just
Okay.
a reminder. And we may need these, if it's okay, Your Honor, to move it forward after maybe the TechStar presentation so that we can go ahead and advise them that we've gotten permission to move forward. All right, thank you.
Okay, it's approximately 10:05. This public hearing is now closed. Thank you very much, Ms. Benavides. Now we will resume with our daily meeting. It's approximately 10:15. At this time, the public hearing is now closed. We'll resume with our daily Commissioners Court. Today, we're Monday, June 23rd. Let it be that we do have quorum, Commissioner Perez, Commissioner Garza, myself, and Commissioner Velasquez being present. Judge Vera will be a little bit late today. At this time, I would like to call this meeting to order. Everybody please stand for a pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any public comments at this time? Okay, we'll go on to approval of minutes. Do we have any minutes? Not today. Okay, at this time, we will like to entertain a motion to go to items number 16 for discussion. Is that okay with the Commissioner's Court?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll go into agenda item number 16 at this time now. Discussion and possible action of approval of the resolution adopting and designating the Starr County Mandolin Reinvestment Zone number 1-2025 in the jurisdiction of Starr County, Texas, establishing the boundaries and providing for an effective date. Ms. Rose Benavides?
Yes, good morning again. This item, we just had a brief recap during the public hearing that was required. So in effect, what this will do is this will allow us to establish a reinvestment zone, which really gives the Commissioner's Court authority to enter into abatement agreements in that certain area. And so this area, as we mentioned, is on North Loma Blanca Road and Sanchez Road, which is pretty far north, but there are a couple of other phases they're looking to be in that area as well. And so what we're hopeful today is to have the Commissioner's Court act so that we can approve that a reinvestment zone to allow us to have conversations.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Commissioner Velasquez. Everybody please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Agenda item number 17, discussion and possible action to approve eligibility and participation in a tax abatement agreement with Mandolin Solar Project LLC. Ms. Benavides?
As mentioned with the previous agenda item, there is also a statutory requirement that requires there be an order and a resolution that approves entering into discussion with them, and more importantly, makes that project eligible. So this is what this item will be asking for, and we do require Commissioner's Court approval.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve, Your
I have a
Honor.
motion by Commissioner Perez. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Commissioner Velasquez. Everybody please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Agenda item number 18, discussion and possible action on approval of the resolution renewing the Starr Solar Reinvestment Zone number 1 in the jurisdiction of Starr County, Texas, establishing the boundaries and providing for an effective date. Ms. Benavides?
Once again, this is the renewal of a reinvestment zone that existed previously. The boundaries are all within the western part of the county as well, surrounding Loma Blanca Road. This will require for us to renew that reinvestment zone in order to then move forward with discussions of a possible abatement agreement for the battery storage project.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve, Your
I
Honor.
have a motion by Commissioner Perez. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Velasquez. Everybody please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Agenda item number 19, discussion and possible to approve eligibility and participation in a tax abatement agreement with Falcon Lake Storage LLC. Ms. Benavides?
Yes, sir. This is actually the statutory component as well for this item. This will allow for us to give a resolution and order making this project eligible and allowing us to move forward with discussions for about a possible abatement agreement for this solar and battery storage project that is being projected in the Loma Blanca area.
Is it also Loma Blanca?
Yes, sir.
And do I have a motion there?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion by Commissioner Perez. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Velasquez. Everybody please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, Ms. Benavides.
Thank you.
Morning, Judge.
Morning, Judge. Back to item number 5.
Sorry I'm late. Okay. We're on to item number 5. Next item to discuss the vendors list.
Second.
Moved and second to approve. Discussion. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 6 is claims.
Motion to approve, Your Honor.
Second.
Moved and second. Discussion. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I have no reports. We'll go on to item 8, a presentation from TechStat. Flores.
So good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners, Court of Starr County. I want to start off by thanking you all for making the time to put us on this agenda, right? This is the third time that we meet, but I'll introduce myself for the rest of the court. My name is Daniel Flores, and I'm the Roma area engineer. With me here today is the district engineer, Mr. Pedro Alvarez, Mr. Fred Lopez, the maintenance section supervisor, and back there we have Ms. Emma Nino, project engineer. All right, so today we have a good presentation in store for Starr County. Bless you. We're gonna split it up in two. I'll start off by going over some of the ongoing jobs, and then I'm gonna pass it on to Mr. Alvarez to go over what's in store for Starr County as far as upcoming jobs. As far as ongoing jobs, we have a long list, right? Ranging from small scope to large scope. Reconstruction, we have divided highways, and we have seal coats. The first project we have on the list is the US 83 project. That's the 045. That one has limits extending from the Starr Zapata County line to the south leg of 2098. So that one, the scope was to widening from a 2-lane to a 4-lane divided highway. So this one's in the closing phase. The contractors, IOC, we're working on some remedial work, some punch list items, so we're pretty much wrapping this one up. Is there any questions regarding the first project?
That's phase 1.
That's phase
That is
1.
Zapata pa 2098, no?
Correct. That's in.
Ya van a acabar.
Yeah, we're in the closing phases. So that's in Roy's backyard.
Yeah.
All right. So the second project that's ongoing is the US 83. This one's 0038047 This one's the second phase in Starr County, with limits extending from 0.31 miles north of Margarito Road to 0.09 miles north of Loma Blanca. The scope is really similar to the first phase that we opened. It's the widening of a 2-lane to a 4-lane divided highway with the same contractor. This one's at 24%, so the contractor is full-blown right now. They're working embankment, they're installing CTB, cement-treated bays. They're doing bridge items, so they're doing a little bit of everything. Any questions regarding the second project? Next, we have the safety illumination improvement project. This one's on 31, just east of 3167 on US 83. So this one's Austin traffic. This one's already at 82%. Right now, we're in the process of energizing the luminaires. So we should be wrapping that one up within the next 2 or 3 months, more or less. Closing out. Any questions regarding the third project? Next, we have the FM 755. This project extends from FM 1017 to FM 2294. This one's for the scope of the work is a Super 2 widening, so it's a reconstruction with foremost paving. This one's at 27%. So this contract is also full blown right now. We're seeing a lot of hot mix, also cement treated base, working on driveways and the installation of hydraulic elements as well. Any questions regarding the fourth project?
After completing between 1017 and 2294, are you all going to continue further south?
So that's a plan that's in the future letting as well. Mr. Alvarez will actually be going over that in shortly, as far as upcoming jobs that are going to be letting. So we do have a plan for 755 as well. Any other questions regarding the 755 project? All right, next we have the seal coats. So the seal coats, as we know, it's a surface treatment that's ongoing every year. This year we had the FM 1017 from the Jim Hall County line to FM 755. The work was seal coat and pavement marking, so we do improve the overall skid, right? We resurface the roadway, we extend the life of the pavement, and we also improve it by installing pavement markings as well. All right. Any questions regarding the seal coats? All right, and I do have another 2 projects that just recently let, but Mr. Alvarez will be going over them in a bit.
Excuse me, Mr. Flores, the seal coat, that's the only seal coat that you'll be doing in Starr County?
This past year, that was the only seal coat, correct, Fred?
What's the status on the bridge you're reconstructing out in Loma Blanca?
So the Loma Blanca road, that's actually, the Loma Blanca bridge replacement, that's actually one that Mr. Alvarez is gonna go over.
Okay.
But I will add, right, because that one already led, it was in this fiscal year. So for the Loma Blanca bridge replacement, it's the 2 creeks, right, Roy? The Del Puerto and then Los Barrosos. So that one's for the construction and removal of the existing bridges. So the contractor is out there as we speak right now. They're forming wing walls. They're installing the boxes. They're full blown as well. They've been really busy. They're at 28% right now as we speak. Any other questions regarding the ongoing jobs? Good. Sounds good. Again, appreciate y'all's time. And with that being said, I'll introduce the FAR District Engineer, Mr. Pedro Alvarez, for the upcoming projects.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Morning.
Pleasure to be back in Starr County. My understanding is Danny Flores, our engineer, has been coming up and providing regular updates for you all regarding some of the ongoing construction, design projects, maintenance projects, and things of that nature. Many years ago, Judge Vera and I had a conversation, and he says, Alvarez, don't forget about Starr County. Make sure you're doing something for Starr County. Judge remembers that conversation well, because he challenged me back then, and I'm going to cite Mr. Amadeo Sainz, who used to be our district engineer for many years here in the Valley, went on to become the executive director at TxDOT. He would tell me as a young man, he says, Pete, make sure you wave the flag, you show the flag. And he said, when you show the flag at the different communities throughout our great district, the southernmost 8 counties here in the FAR district, he says, make sure that we are spending and utilizing taxpayers' dollars to take care of all communities. And so with that said, just wanted to go over some of the projects that we have ongoing. Obviously, Danny had provided that, but we also have a couple of projects that are being scheduled to go to letting or go to bid, if you will. I believe you all may have a handout, some that looks like this, that talks about our letting in the next 4 years. We have been blessed in the FAR district to have gained some momentum as far as funding for Deep South.
We don't have one.
You don't have a copy of this?
They're in the packet. They're in the packet. Your packet.
I'll wait a minute or two so that way y'all can get a copy of that. The goal here for TxDOT is we are being very transparent. We identify projects. We have this information listed in our TxDOT internet site where it's available to all the public, if you will. And as we move forward, the funding has, in the past, some people would say was trickling down. And now I believe that we're in a very good position where we're actually taking the funding that has been made available to us and pushing it forward to the tune of here in Starr County. I'm looking at FY 2025, and we've identified some projects here in 2025, approximately $3 million, if you will, in 2025. But I really want to start focusing on future years. Let's go to 2026. Some of the projects that are going to be coming into our area. And we'll start off with a project that has been much anticipated. That is the State Loop 195 project. State Loop 195 project, that corridor, as many of you already know, will extend from US 83 in the Loma Blanca area, just north of the Roma High School there, all the way to FM 755. Those projects are broken down into 3 segments. Segment 1, which is the one that's identified here, is from FM 755 to FM 2167, otherwise known as Hospital Road. That project is scheduled to go to letting this fall to the tune of approximately $79 million. And so we have been working very closely with the various landowners, utilities, to get all the right-of-way acquired, to get utilities adjusted, and things of that nature. We're very, very excited for this project. We believe this project is not only going to provide relief to congestion and mobility here in Starr County, but it's also going to be potentially a great economic development opportunity. What does that mean? So when you look at Starr County, and believe you me, I've studied our map here in Starr County many times over, I am concerned with the lack of east-west mobility, if you will. There's been situations in the past, flood of 2018, another one in 2020, I believe, where US 83 and Arroyo Los Morenos and what have you shut down US 83, and that forces the traveling public to go north, to all the way to FM 490. In some cases, they have to go back on US 83 to be able to get east and west. And so this project on State Loop 195 is going to provide that opportunity to provide redundancy, if you will, to the east-west movement here in Starr County. And while I'm there, here in Rio Grande City, in particular, when we have events, we shut down US 83 at the request of the city and the county for, there may be a parade or something of that nature, and the traveling public has to find an alternative route. Many times, Eisenhower is utilized. I see Ms. Rose there at the RGV MPO meetings on a regular basis, and we've talked about what can we be doing right here in Starr County to provide additional opportunities. And I'm going to get more into that as I go through the presentation. But we have many challenges before us. One of the things that's also important to recognize is, this State Loop 195 will connect FM 755 to FM 3167 Hospital Road. And there may be opportunities, other roads, at Chaco Blanco Road, I believe, and other roads that are going to intercept. We do have another project, State Loop 185 Phase 2, which is FM 3167, or Hospital Road, toward the west to FM 649 in El Saus, in that area, just south of El Saus. That too is going to provide another opportunity. And then Phase 3, which is not currently fully funded, We have partially funded. By the way, these first two segments are fully funded. We're moving forward with those. The segment number 3 is not fully funded, but we're looking to the plans are ready, pretty much. We're looking to find that funding for future years. One of the things that I do want to point out to you all is it's great to be able to have a State Loop 185, basically US 83 relief route, right? And we all know that between Rio Grande, Rio Grande, Escobares, and Roma, it's approximately 40,000 vehicles a day. That's what utilizes that corridor. Commissioner Peña drove in this morning, I'm sure, and knows all about that. And the challenge is, if you will, is 40,000, when you have 40,000 vehicles a day, it's congestion. We have approximately 22, 24 signals in this entire corridor, and that causes some delays, and we're sensitive to that. Having State Loop 185 come to the table is going to provide a great opportunity, I believe, for the entire Starr County community. What do I mean by that? Well, we're going to have a relief route for US 83, but this relief route is going to have some spokes, if you will. If you look at the analogy of a rim in a bicycle, you have the rim, but you need the spokes to be able to get to the outside of the rim. Well, the rim in this case is State Loop 195. I'm looking at what can we be doing together in partnership to develop other roadways that will enable us to properly connect the communities between here and Roma. So projects or roadways like, for example, Bravo Street in Roma, Ebony, Efraín Ramirez, San Julian Road, Alvarez Road, these roads come to mind, right? Because when all is said and done, we'll have an east-west corridor a couple miles north of US 83, but how is the traveling public going to get to that corridor? And I believe that these roadways, although they're not on system, they're off-system roadways, and whether it belong to the city or the county, these roadways we need to start thinking improvement to be able to connect US 83 to State Loop 185 and everything in between. So I want to challenge you all. Let's be thinking of ways. We're all ears. These are just some of the roads that I drive or that I've gone by, and I see the sign. I haven't actually gone in north, if you will. There may be some challenges there. I get that, but we're here at TxDOT to work in partnership with Starr County and the various cities to identify these type of projects and the needs for the future. Going on with the presentation, we have a couple other projects here. US 83, we continue to push forward on US 83 with various construction projects. These projects range anywhere between $2 million to $5 million. FM 650 is a project we've been working closely with the city of Roma to provide access to that industrial zone that was recently developed out there. That project is scheduled for currently August of 2026. I do want to have a disclaimer. These are what we are anticipating, the bidding dates or letting dates. There is always a possibility potentially accelerating these projects should the right-of-ways and utilities be adjusted. My understanding is there's a little bit of a challenge when it comes to utilities on FM 650, and we're working closely with the city of Roma and the various utility companies to make those adjustments. Once those adjustments are made, we will look to accelerate the project.
Is the funding available?
The funding is available. We're ready to go. We're just waiting for utilities to be adjusted. I'm going to jump to FY 2027. In FY 2027, we have that phase 2 that I mentioned on State Loop 185, approximately $64 million that will be coming to us in the fall of 2026. Then we have an FM 755 project. I believe there was a question regarding 755. We do have a project north of La Gloria that's going towards the Brooks Starr County line that has already been identified. It's funded to the tune of approximately $29 million. We're looking to, I believe that project is adding Super 2s, passing lanes, if you will, very similar to the project we're doing south of La Gloria to 2294, FM 2294. FM 755 is another corridor that's important to us. We understand that getting in and out of Starr County, US 83, 755 are obviously the main arteries to get in and out of Starr County. So we've identified FM 755 as a very important corridor. We have developed projects, currently the one's in construction, the one that will be letting. This one's scheduled to let in the summer of 2027. And then we also have identified projects south of 2294 to FM 490, and then FM 490 towards Eisenhower Road, and then Eisenhower Road back to US 83. I bring this because the State Loop 195 project is going to provide additional traffic to 755. In traveling the FM 755 corridor on a pretty regular basis, we see where we have the 4 lanes, 2 lanes in each direction, all the way up to about Florida Street, and then it transitions down to 2 lanes. Well, obviously we have La Venta, we have the high school, we have the community, El Tanque and Carla, and communities to the north that we believe as population continues to grow, subdivisions continue to be built, we're going to have to find a way to figure that out and put possibly a 4-lane highway through there. So I've challenged my staff to look at those opportunities and identify candidate projects all the way up that corridor. And we will continue to work with that. There is a project, the 2294 down to FM 490, that's not shown on the plan as funded because we don't have the funding at this time, but it's not that we've forgotten about it. We want to make sure that we're doing both ends, La Gloria South, Rio Grande to the north, and then we're going to figure out what we're going to do in that transition. Whether we do a Super 2 or continue with a 4-lane highway is yet to be determined. FM 490 provides another alternative to go east-west here in northern Starr County. And so we need to figure out how we're going to close that gap. But rest assured, we have that in the radar, Commissioner Garza, as well.
1017, I've noticed in the last couple of years, our commercial traffic on 755 and 1017 has increased quite a bit.
That is exactly right. The trucking industry, we've done some studies regarding the trucking industry and the routes from, let's say, the McAllen Far area, if you will, to Laredo is a corridor. Obviously, there are corridors that are US 83, the primary, 1017, if you will, is another alternative. And then you go to State Highway 285 between Falfurrias, Hebronville, and eventually up to Laredo. During the construction of US 83, and we've had a lot of construction in US 83, some of the trucking industry has utilized FM 1017 as that route. We're very much aware of that. We believe that projects like State Loop 195 will help relieve some of that challenge, right, to have additional trucks. But we also have projects identified on 1017. Right now, we've identified a project in Hidalgo County from US 281 to the Starr Hidalgo County line to provide passing lanes. The next project is from the Starr Hidalgo County line back to La Gloria to provide the Super 2 passing lanes. So we've identified those projects as well. They're a little further out, but we will continue to develop them as well. So FY 2028, we do have a couple of projects here. One of the projects that we've identified, if you will, is what we call TL00226. It's an odd way to name a naming convention, but that's a federal convention for projects, if you will, that are that are within the ports of entry and what have you. So we've identified a couple of projects in Rio Grande City where we're going to be connecting to the Starr Camargo Bridge, FM 755 extension to the south, that will provide an opportunity to supplement Pete Diaz, if you will, that goes and connects US 83 to the port of entry. We'll continue to push forward. When you add FY 25, 26, 27, 28, that's a little over $200 million that are going to be invested here in Starr County in the next 4 years. I think that's a really, really important number to take note. If you start looking at projects like State Loop 195 Segment 3, that's a $100 million project. In today's dollars, it'll probably wind up being 110, 120 million. By the time we go to construction, we're looking at 2029, 2030, if all goes well, possibly accelerating that project. Another project that I wanted to bring to you all's attention, and Judge, I sincerely appreciate your time regarding we're doing a feasibility study for the State Loop 195 extension. Obviously, we're doing State Loop 195, Loma Blanca to 755. We're looking to connect State Loop 195 to the Hidalgo County loop, western Hidalgo County. We have dubbed the project the State Loop 185 extension. This simple guy feels, hey, it's 185, and we're going to extend it, if you will, into Starr County, from Starr County, I'm saying, into western Hidalgo County. Right now, we're in the very preliminary phases of those feasibility studies. We're identifying ways to connect State Loop 185 to Hidalgo County, once again, to provide that redundancy. If there were to be a situation, God forbid, let's say a fire on US 83 in the Alto Bonito area. Well, that shuts down US 83. Where do people go? Well, there's not many opportunities, right? FM 2360 there in Alto Bonito has a dead end. There's a Caliche Road, Las Brisas Road, that may connect to Pipeline Road and all this, but these roadways are not paved. They're county roads that are not paved, right? And so the State Loop 185 extension project, it's approximately 22 to 25 miles in length, depending on what route we take. We are working with our consultants to identify what is the most feasible route. And what I mean by that is the route that makes good sense, not only for the near time, but also for the long term, right? What is the best thing for the long term to be able to get from Starr County into Hidalgo County and further out? Some of you may have heard of a project called the Second Causeway to the South Padre Island. Our goal one day is to connect Loma Blanca, US 83, all the way to South Padre Island with this relief route, this new expressway type facility. If you go from Roma to the island, it probably takes you, 2.5 hours, más o menos, with a 75 miles per hour expressway type facility. That's probably going to take about 1 hour and 15 minutes. That's what we're looking at. And so some people may say, well, wait a minute, that's like way out there. No, not so much. We have many, many projects that are being developed by TxDOT, by Cameron County RMA, by Hidalgo County RMA, and we're going to interconnect all these. We work with our partners to ensure that we have the good connectivity, the mobility, and obviously our number one priority is safety, improvement of safety in our region. I've said a lot, but I'm going to pause now and attempt to answer any questions that you all may have. My staff is also here to support me in case there's a very specific question.
Mr. Alvarez, first of all, thank you so much for being here this morning. Fred and Mr. Flores have been very conscientious as far as making meetings regularly, more regularly, and we appreciate that. And I'm glad that you mentioned about the east-west route. Since Amadeo was here, I've been harping on that, God forbid, we have a catastrophe, we're pretty much isolated from the rest of the world as far as going east-west. However, and I'm glad you mentioned it, that we need that alternative route. However, we need it to keep going. It cannot end at 7:55 because as it is, we have a tremendous congestion right now in front of Walmart and all that area. So that traffic would now add more congestion there. And it's not only Starr County that benefits. Of course, the court, that is our main focus, how would Starr County benefit? But it's also a route that could be used for evacuation in case of hurricanes. For Cameron, Hidalgo, Kennedy, Willacy, they could take this route on to Laredo or San Antonio or wherever they want to go. So I think it's a great benefit for the whole South Texas region. And I'm glad that TxDOT is pumping all this money into Starr County for many years, and I'm not going to blame TxDOT. It might have been our fault that we didn't push infrastructure of roadways enough, but we are pushing now, because we do need it. We got left way behind from, if you look at Hidalgo, they have on-system roads every mile. We don't. Cameron, same thing. We need to get there, and I know it's going to take some while because, like you said, 200 million, that's a chunk of change, but I thank you and I appreciate what you all are doing, but keep pushing. We need more roads.
No doubt, and we are growing as a region. Starr County, the communities, obviously, Roma, Escobares, Rio Grande, La Grulla, the population, your numbers, we were able to push and have a conversation with the RGV MPO about what do we do to include Starr County. And so I personally reached out to you and looked at, okay, what will it take? We had several meetings over the years where we talked about the benefits of being part of the MPO. And so now Starr County, at least the southernmost part of Starr County, is part of the MPO, and that provides other funding opportunities at the state and federal level. And we'll continue to look for those opportunities moving forward. We talk about East-West, obviously US 83, we're talking about State Loop 195 extension, we're talking about FM 490, we're talking about FM 1017, right? And so those are four major corridors that will interconnect, if you will, the entire region. And so we will continue to push forward, looking for these opportunities, and we welcome you are, excuse me, our eyes and ears. You hear from your constituents any issues and concerns. Feel free, please, to reach out to Fred, our supervisor, Danny, myself. Any suggestions? We see the traveling public as an additional set of inspectors, if you will, that will bring things to our attention. And as I was driving in, I have a couple of things I'm going to bring to the table with Fred and Danny. As I was driving in this morning, I noticed a couple of things that we need to address. The point being is you and the public are an extra set of eyes, and we welcome. Some people say, "Oh, you don't want to hear complaints." Well, that's part of the process. We cannot be at all locations at one time. But as a public, you look at safety, you look for opportunities. Please share with us. We will take those into consideration and see what we can do. As always, it's a pleasure to visit with you all. I'm trying to make it a more regular commitment. I asked Danny to please keep reminding me, hey, come visit us in Starr County on a regular basis.
We welcome your presence.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Alvarez,
Questions or anything?
I have a question. That
Yes, sir.
small project that you mentioned south of 83 on 755, is that going to be an overweight road?
Yes, we've been working with the Starr Industrial Foundation, the City of Rio Grande City, about making that an overweight corridor. So it would be concrete paving to be able to get those overweight, oversized trucks out of the GSA facility there, Starr Camargo Bridge Company, right, onto US 83. And then we're looking at doing an overweight corridor just a little north of US 83 to provide that distribution. Obviously, the overweight corridors do not extend throughout the entire state. There has to be a point where they offload, or in some cases when they're going into Mexico where they put more weight on them. We're working to figure out the best way to make that happen. But to answer your question specifically, from US 83 south to the port of entry, it's going to be a concrete paving that should be able to handle all that.
Any questions? Well, again, thank you so much, Mr. Alvarez. And, like always, you're always welcome.
All right, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Going on with our agenda, is there anyone that needs to be out or needs to have their item come before the court before we continue with our agenda? If not, we'll go ahead and follow the agenda. Item 9 is an action item, and this is the prohibiting of certain fireworks in Starr County. This is the same one that we've always had. The aerial fireworks. Is there a motion to approve that?
Motion to approve, Your Honor.
Second. Moved and second. Discussion. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 10 is an action item, and this is what we contribute every year to the Soil and Water Conservation District here in Starr County. It's $10,000. It is budgeted. It's in the budget.
Motion to approve, Your Honor.
Second.
Moved and second. Discussion. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 11 is an action item, and this is an agreement between the City of Laredo and the 911 Public Safety Answering Services for a service agreement. Is this about the same thing?
Yes, it's two agreements, Your Honor, in this item.
Is there a motion to approve that?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Moved and second. Discussion. All in favor, please, aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 12 is the bank depository contract. Ms. Gonzalez.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. For this item, Judge, we had two banks pick up the RFPs and submit them. We had Lone Star National Bank, and we also had Texas Regional Bank. And after a close review of its proposal, we have a recommendation, Judge. And their recommendation would be to have Lone Star National Bank to be our bank depository for the next term.
Motion to approve, Your Honor.
Second, Your Honor.
Moved and second to approve. Discussion. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you,
Commissioners.
Commissioner. Item 13 is an action item, and this is the final approval of Los Agaves subdivision.
Somebody here from the planning department, Judge?
I think the engineers.
Here, you have the engineer.
Good morning, Commissioners and Judge. We're requesting for the final approval for Los Agaves subdivision. Los Agaves subdivision, it's on Embassy Road, person number 4.
Okay. Now, we met earlier last week, I guess, and the question that I had was on
The letter for the
the
water.
letter.
Yes,
Has
it
that
was-
been submitted?
It was submitted to the county on Friday.
Yes, Judge, I received it, and everything that was pending before the item has been received.
So everything has been
Everything
received?
is.
Okay. This is in what precinct?
Person number 4, Mr. Hernan
I
Garza.
was gonna ask if you all donated the land up against by the highway for widening the highway.
Yeah, we did I guess a street dedication rate, or a couple of feet, which is
Not city, that is, Commissioner?
15 feet.
There's not a city, that area?
No, it was county. It was
It's a
county.
county?
Yes, full county. Yeah. So it was a 15-foot right-of-way dedication for the county. Just to widen
I
it.
want to make sure they dedicated property for widening the road.
Que si se necesita.
And so we follow the same alignments as Laredo states. So
¿Está pavimentado o apenas van a pavimentar?
Embassy,
Oh,
las
Embassy.
lomas para la high school.
Para 75.
Okay, yeah, we do need to start at some point. Yes, I didn't think about that when we met, because that road needs to be widened, and at some point, we need to come up with and I know we approved in the Commissioners Court last time to go out for engineers to dedicate county roads and all that, and so that we can have a future plan, and if developers come that they want to develop, that we ask them to leave the right of way, so we don't have to go back and buy it later. So I guess at some point, we need to.
yeah,
start doing
on this case, we dedicated 15 additional feet of the existing already
that.
30.
How much more?
15.
Okay, well,
So,
that's
yes, so it was 30, and we dedicated 15 more. It's at 45 right now.
along the Embassy Road?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and then we can ask for 15
For
on
the-
the
for
other
the-
side.
on the other-
Now we have a good road.
Yep.
Okay. Are you okay with that?
Yes.
You want to make that motion?
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion, a second to approve, discussion. All in
you.
favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And yeah, if you could help us with that, whenever they contact your firm, that, to make sure that they leave additional right-of-way on major roads, because, we don't want to go back and buy it 5 years from now. Thank you.
It's on the west side of Embassy, right?
Sí.
Yeah, it's on the west side.
Yes.
On the west side, the additional west side.
I've been asking the developers there that you're gonna have to cut the road in order to pass the water and, the water. I'm asking that you all please put a valley gutter instead of a patch on it.
Yes, I guess our original design was with the board, but I know that we contacted the contractor when they were doing the construction, right? And they followed what they were
Or
doing.
to bore?
Or to bore, one of the two.
Yeah, we created the buddy gutter that you had asked us on that. That's in the project. But usually we'll put a board, right, if the studios Is it in good condition?
Yeah, so we don't ruin the highway. Thank you. Item 14 is an action item, and this is the renaming of La Vieja Street to Old Church Street in Salinas.
Yeah, motion to approve, Your Honor.
Second.
Moved and second, discussion. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 15 is an action item, and is to authorize La Casita Fire Department Chief Martinez Blanc to access Starr County FEMA Go account.
Motion to approve. Item 15, Your Honor.
I'm sorry? Item 15, yeah. I have a motion and a second, discussion. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
We already did up to 20.
19.
So you did
16 through 19, we already did them.
Number 20.
We're already number 20.
Okay.
There
We'll
are
skip to item 20, and item 20
through 40.
through 40 are amendments.
Motion to approve, Your Honor.
Second.
Moved and second to approve to item 40, discussion. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item, it is 11 o'clock, and pursuant to section 551.074 and 551.087, we'll go into executive session to discuss the team's training law seminar, order of salaries, and to deliberate regarding economic development negotiations. We'll be out shortly. You all ready? I've got 11:26, and we're back in open session. We only had 3 items that we discussed. One of them was to authorize the closing of the election office so that they could attend the annual election law seminar.
I do so move, Your Honor.
Second.
Moved and second to approve, discussion. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The other one was order of salaries.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Moved and second to approve as presented, discussion. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, and the negotiating of economic development, that was just information, so no action needed. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second, all in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen.